Welcome to the official Q&A of the film Poppy Field. I am Anselm from FILMFEST Hamburg, and I welcome Eugen Jebeleanu, the director of Poppy Fields. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you, and nice to be here with you also.
I would like to start to talk about the topic of your movie. We saw Cristi and the life of this policeman, of a gay person that didn't have his come out and kept it secret, and the incident which happens in the movie is actually based on true events. I wanted to ask you, could you give us some background about this event in special and about the actual state of state in Romania?
Okay, yes. So, as you said, the film is inspired by an event that has happened in 2013, firstly, in Bukarest at a cinema hall. And there was a screening of an LGBT film, and the screening was interrupted by a group of Orthodox people, activists, that were not very happy that this kind of projections can be allowed in a cinema hall in Romania. And so that made a big scandal and protest, and it was the first time when one of these incidents has happened. But later on in 2018 and even in 2019 were screenings like this stopped by, interrupted by people that are against LGBT films in cinema halls. And so Ioana Moraru, the screenwriter, she came to me with this screenplay inspired by these events, and putting this fiction with a policeman that is a gay policeman, but not out, and how he deals his struggle between his personal and professional life and identities, and seeing what happens inside of him with his own homophobia, with his own fears, with his own violences, with his own coming out maybe. And so that was the point of start like this for our film, and this real event that has happened in Romania. And nowadays, well, when we'll see what will happen for our Romanian premiere, because we haven't done it yet in a cinema hall. So maybe we'll have this surprise to have another group of people interrupting the screening. So we don't know. I hope this kind of events will never happen again. But well, still, if there are little steps that are changing things about this topic in Romania, but we don't have yet any rights for LGBT community, and the situation today, it's a bit, I don't know, like floating like this. It's not very good, not as bad as 20 years ago, because homosexuality in Romania, for example, it's not punished since 2001, so it's not that far. And today we could change a bit. It was a referendum in 2018 that was demanding to the people if they are okay with the changement in the constitution of Romania of the family notion that was just a union between two persons, and they wanted the religious people also behind to change it to be clear that it's between a man and a woman. But this referendum was not working, and so nothing changed. But now, yeah, the cinema and for example, to speak about our inspiration event, this story had the process, and it was Romania has to pay, the state has to pay an, how you say this, like an amount because of their non-equality statement, and the gendarmerie that was not taking place to protect the people there in the cinema hall. So this story is somehow closed, and the process was closed, and so we'll see.
Yeah, so this is your first feature film.
Yes.
But you have been a theater director for more than 10 years. How was your experience when you switched now from theater to movie?
Yeah. So I think I will continue to do theater also, and I did opera too, and I like it. So I'm a director and an artist that is searching all the time his way of doing, and I like this. And so for me, the switch came kind of natural because I was not forcing it. I have received, that I said, this screenplay to read, and the phone call of the producer who proposed me to read the screenplay, and if I'm interested to make it, to direct it. And I was afraid because I was not doing cinema before, but I was in the same time very interested because I wanted to do it one day. And also the story was something that was interesting me because I'm working in theater a lot into this topic of LGBT community rights. And so I said yes, and I started this adventure. And the difficulty was more into some kind of production aspects that were new for me, but in my way of working with the actors and my way of directing and of making the choreography of the space was not changing that much. Just maybe the tension of the film, because it's not something that is growing like you can see in theater, more classical, like something on vertical, like with a conflict very high. So here it's something more like an elastic, like something on horizontal. And so you have to keep this kind of tension that it's completely different from theater. But I had this chance to work with some great people in my crew, and especially with Marius Panduru, the DOP, and with Velika Panduru, the scenographer, and all the other people that were there, because I haven't felt any time insecure of what I'm doing, and I was feeling in freedom. And how to say, Marius Panduru, the DOP, told me to not change my way of working in theater, so just make the scenes as I'm making it in theater, just to be aware that the camera, it's all around like 360 degrees. And so that's what I was doing. And I tried to be as honest I can with my own tools and on my ways of making. And so that's why also I think it was not that unfamiliar for me, this tension of these long sequences.
Well, I noticed that the camera stays very close to Cristi a lot of the time. So we have a lot of time to read his face or maybe his thoughts. And on the other hand, there are those long shots in the movie theater during the riot, which give us a very documentary style. So could you tell us a bit about your strategy or about your motivations of the camera work?
Yes, so of course we were inspired by what has happened in the cinema with these real events, let's say, and all these images that were on internet with people which were shooting with their phones, and they put the images on Facebook and all this social media. And so we wanted to keep this documentary style, and we wanted to keep this kind of camera like a witness there with him, and so someone who is inside of all this story, and in this huis clos where Cristi is completely blocked in the cinema hall. And as we are saying this portrait of this young gendarme into 24 hours, so that's why also we wanted to be as close as we can with him, because we need to know, as you say, what's inside of him. And then, as we don't have all the words, because I think the quality of the screenplay and also of what I like in theater or cinema, it's when feelings are not told, but felt, how to say. So it's a difference for me, and it's something that you can feel from all the tension inside of this actor and of what his struggle means for his character. And so that's why we prefer to go so close to him, because it's about all his fears and all his pressure on him. And we have choose with Marius to film, for example, on 16 millimeters film, also because we found that it's more proper to these close-ups for Cristi, because it's giving other contrasts, and you have of course, more when you see the film on big screen, you have this impression of being very close to him, and you can touch his face or feeling all the details of the face and the gestures. And so that's why we choose this. And I liked these long shots because of this tension, as I said, that it's something that it's not how to say, manipulating maybe somehow the spectator and trying to give attention that it's not there. So it was much more important what is coming from inside and not what is coming from outside. That's why also I have choose to work very subtle into all the sound of the film. So there's no music like big, I don't know, soundtracks that are going on the film. So everything is as more as we can into this cine verite that was there in the cinema protest.
Yes, and I think you can really experience the tension you're describing. Mm-hmm. You think there will be some kind of a debate, or maybe could there be changes for the community?
I hope so. I hope, as I was saying, I don't think Romania is still as it was 20 years ago on this topic. So things are changing, but little by little. And I hope, in a few years, or I don't know, as soon as it's possible, to have also the possibility of marriage, for example, for the people with same sex. That is not the case yet. And provoking debates and trying to have as more as we can audience that are maybe not quite sure of what they are thinking about, because the main problem I think in Romania nowadays with this topic, it's not that the people are completely homophobic, but they don't have all the informations, and there's no dialogue, and there's a big issue in the education system. So in the educational system, so that's where I think things has to change more and more and more, because we don't speak as much as we should made it about all these topics. So I hope if there will be a scandal with protesters, why not? We can be there with to talk with them, but I hope the film will have an impact into I don't know, people, not just the community of LGBT people, but also the large audience. And that was a beautiful, for example, how to say, gift that we received in Cluj, because the film has won the award of the audience. And so that's for me, I think, the most important thing to know, that Romanian audience, even in a festival, has seen all the topics of the film, even though that are not in front, like this homosexual issue for someone who's living with a secret life, but also, for example, all what that means about the freedom of expression, because in fact, I think this is the background of the film.
Well, then thank you for your time, and all the best for your movie, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here with you and to know that Poppyfield is in your festival.